happening, brother? How are you, man? You good?
Very good, man.
Good.
Sure. What's been happening? Everything well?
Everything's all good.
Listen, bro. I really wanted to, actually do content for the viewers.
Yep.
Something that's actually been on my mind, and I thought, you know what, this is a message that the people need to hear. I want to talk about desire. I want to talk about the very thing that really, motivated you to be the person that you are today. A lot of people really have that desire to win, and it's easy to have a desire. So everyone starts a journey, but not everyone finishes that journey. What was the very cool thing, that paradigm shift, that coolness in you, that deep side of you that really made you step out of the boat and say, you know what, enough is enough to really become successful or to be the man that you are today?
Well, firstly, look, the whole saying of when people say, oh, just be happy with what you have, or be grateful with what you have. There's people in the world that don't have it. Yeah, that's true to some extent, 100%. But then at the same time, remember, you can never really help anyone else if you can't help yourself. And it's so important that, when, everyone that was average in my life, they always told me things like, oh, just be happy with what you have, or just be content with what you have, or at least you have a roof over your head. I'm grateful for that. But trust me when I say that is such average thinking. Like, you have to have something that you really hate about yourself. You have to. Listen, not even one thing. You need to have a few things that you really hate about yourself. Whether it's, because you can never improve yourself if you like everything about you. Does that make sense? Like, maybe it can be, you can say, you know what, I don't like my body fat. I want to lose weight. It can be maybe I don't like, how I look. I don't like the level of, tenacity that I'm working with, or I don't like the level of aggression, or I don't like the level of my work ethic. You have to have something you don't like about yourself. So for me, the first thing I did was, when I first became an entrepreneur in 2013, I identified what I didn't like about myself. And one of the things I did not like about myself was, number one, where I was living. Didn't like it. Average area, Northwest London, Church Road Estate, right? Average area, nothing happening there, right? It was the ghetto, right? Everyone knows that, right? I didn't like that. I wanted to change that. The other thing I didn't like was I didn't like my car. If I'm honest with you, did not like my car. I wanted a better car.
And what was you driving? What was the car you was driving?
In fact, I was driving my mom's car.
Oh, really?
My mom and dad's car. They had a Chrysler Voyager 2002. I don't even think they make those cars anymore.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, me and my brother, we used to share a Vauxhall Corsa, but reality it was his car, but I was tagging along. Does that make sense? But anyways, and I had a Rover as well. Like, eventually, I couldn't drive my mom and dad's car anymore, so they bought me a Rover, like a 700-pound Rover. Like, no word of a lie.
Clarify that that's not a Range Rover.
Not a Range Rover. I have a Range Rover now. It was a Rover, right? A lot of the young people won't even know what that is, but it was a Rover. Anyways, I didn't like my car. I didn't like the balance on, in my bank account. I didn't like the routine I was taking every day. I didn't like the amount of hours I was working. I didn't like. There were so many things I didn't like.
Yeah. So
I'm grateful for what I have, but you can't say, oh, be grateful for what you have. Like, okay, so what am I meant to do? Just be grateful for what I have and just sit there and do nothing. Listen, of course God provides for us, 100%. But remember, if you don't take action, how's God going to help you? You can't put a pizza in the oven and say, oh, don't worry, if you're meant to eat, God will feed you.
Make it, yeah.
Like, you can't. You got to try and feed yourself first. So anyways, I didn't like that. Once I identified what I didn't like about myself, then that gives you the desire, naturally, the motivation you need to make things happen. I'll give you an example, John. If you take a kid in the slums of Africa, or in the slums of India, or in the slums of any country in South America, and you bring them to the UK, listen, they will work until they drop. They would work without eating, they would work without sleeping, they would work without even getting paid, they will just outwork anyone. You know why? They already have something to contrast. What you and I don't have right now, they have something to contrast to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Their level of thinking of motivation is a whole nother level. I'll give you an example. There's places in Africa where kids, parents, they have to walk 9 miles to and from every day. 9 miles and 9 miles. So 18 miles just to get water.
Yeah.
You and I just have to go to our kitchen. In fact, we complain, oh honey, where's the bottles of water? Are they all finished? oh man, we're out of water, and people don't even drink tap water because they're so used to drinking bottled water. Does that make sense?
You have options, basically.
Now imagine if someone in Africa had that choice.
Yeah.
You know, but so for them, their level of motivation, if you ask them what motivates you to walk 18 miles for water, what would their response be? My motivation is the fact that I'm hungry. So the thing is, when you have nothing, that's the only motivation you need to work until you have everything. So for me, that was my motivation, was, you know, to change my life, my parents' lives, to change everything up, you know, from working 70, 80 hours a week. How can I go free? How can I become financially free? How can I change my bank balance? How can I change what I drive? How can I change my postcode? How can I change everything about my life? How can I provide for my family? All those things combined was the biggest motivation I needed. So reality is, you know, and I've said this for many, many years, motivation really is like it's like a drug. You know, if you need external motivation every day, it's like that means you need external drugs. So I mean, it's not that you need the external drug, but it's like an external drug. I'll give you an example. If you take an external drug now, let's imagine you have a headache, and let's say you take a paracetamol. That paracetamol will only work for, let's say, that headache, right? And then the next time you have a headache, you need another one. So reality is every drug wears out. Coffee, if you drink it, it wears out. If you're tired, it wakes you up for a little period of time. Red Bull, a little period of time, but then tomorrow you need another one. That's the way motivation is. So if you're motivated today, that's going to burn out. Tomorrow again, you're going to need motivation. But if you have something, a story, something that motivates you outside of something which is just temporary, that's all you need, man.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good.